Air travel is an engineering wonder, shrinking the globe and connecting people like never before. Yet behind every flight's safety rules and seatbelt announcements, there is a web of practices, codes, and decisions unknown to the average passenger. Join us as we crack open these mysteries and go through 20 lesser-known flight secrets. Number 20. Dimming the lights. As your flight gets ready for takeoff or landing, you might notice the cabin lights start to dim. This isn't just to create a cozy atmosphere for relaxation or sleep. Dimming the cabin lights plays a crucial role in safety, preparing passengers' eyes for darkness in case there's a need for an emergency evacuation. When the lights are dimmed, it helps our pupils to widen and become more sensitive to low light levels. Should there be a need to evacuate, the plane's emergency lighting system would kick in, lighting up exit pathways and signs. With our eyes already adjusted to the darkness, we're able to quickly spot and use these emergency exits. These precious seconds can be vital during a safe and orderly evacuation. Being used to the dark helps us keep our bearings and reduces the risk of stumbling or getting hurt as we move through a dim cabin. It also cuts down on confusion and panic. Research by aviation experts has shown that dimming lights for 20 to 30 minutes significantly boosts our ability to see in the dark. This straightforward step could be a lifesaver. Number 19. Handcuffs are kept on board. Have you ever thought about what might happen if a disruptive or aggressive passenger decided to try and break into the cockpit or go after the crew members on a flight? Flights can sometimes face the challenge of passenger misbehavior, whether it's due to being drunk, psychological issues, or even criminal motives. That's the reason why airlines make sure their planes are equipped with handcuffs and other restraints to manage these intense situations. These devices are hidden away only to be brought out by flight attendants when absolutely necessary. Made from nylon or light metals, they're designed to restrain someone without hurting them. Flight crews receive special training on how to use these tools properly. Every year, there are hundreds of incidents on flights all over the world, from simple noncompliance to actual physical attacks. In 2021, the FAA reported nearly 6,000 cases of passengers causing trouble on flights in the US alone. Using restraints is considered a final measure to calm down potential threats and ensure everyone's safety in the cabin. Number 18. Safest seats. When you're booking a flight, snagging an aisle or window seat often tops the list of priorities. However, the next time you're selecting your seat, you might want to consider opting for a middle seat, especially one in the back of the plane. Why? This particular spot is statistically linked to the highest chances of survival in the event of a crash. Data from previous accidents shows that the fatality rate for passengers in rear middle seats is around 28%, compared to 44% for those seated at the front or over the wings. Seats at the front are more vulnerable because they're closer to the most common points of impact during takeoff or landing, and they also bear the brunt of more severe whiplash. While exit rows over the wings might seem appealing for quick evacuations, their proximity to jet fuel can actually decrease your chances of survival. The back of the plane offers a bit more protection from potential hazards such as flying debris, flames, and smoke inhalation. Plus, the rear typically experiences less forceful impacts. Another advantage of sitting in the middle of the cabin is being closer to flight attendants, who can provide assistance if you need to make a quick exit. Although plane crashes are incredibly rare thanks to ongoing improvements in aviation safety, choosing a rear middle seat could slightly improve your odds in an unlikely event. But regardless of where you're seated, you can be confident that aviation experts are continuously striving toward a goal of zero fatalities should any issues arise. Number 17. Boarding last. In the rush to be among the first to board an airplane, adopting the counterintuitive strategy of boarding last can actually be more advantageous. This approach allows you to bypass the often stressful lines and get to your seat with ease. Since airlines allocate specific seating, the sequence in which you board has negligible impact on where you'll sit. By joining the boarding process later, you sidestep the struggle for overhead bin space, as earlier passengers will have already stowed their luggage. The aisles tend to be clearer, facilitating a direct path to your seat without the obstacle of navigating through a crowded cabin. Choosing to board last not only streamlines your own experience but also contributes to reducing the total time spent boarding. It eases congestion in the aisles and at the boarding gate, enabling airlines to close the aircraft doors promptly and depart according to schedule. This efficiency is beneficial for both the crew and passengers, creating a smoother boarding process overall. Research indicates that boarding from the back of the plane to the front is among the most efficient methods, further supporting the benefits of delayed boarding. Additionally, boarding last means you spend less time waiting on the jet bridge or sitting in the cabin while other passengers find their seats and stow their belongings. It's a simple way to avoid being confined to your seat, buckled in at an awkward angle, any longer than necessary. Just ensure that your carry-on is compact enough to fit under the seat in front of you, which allows you the flexibility to board last and be the final person to take your seat, ready for takeoff. Number 16. High air traffic in boundless skies. You might assume that planes flying through the same airspace would be spread far apart, but in reality, flight paths are often concentrated, with aircraft following high traffic routes at consistent altitudes. Factors like weather disruptions, holding patterns, and necessary detours can increase the density of planes in these corridors. So, just how close can planes get when they're on a set flight path? Separation rules dictate a minimum of just 3 nautical miles apart when planes are cruising at the same altitude. This distance translates to roughly 2 minutes of flying time at typical cruising speeds. Near airports, where airspace is more congested, this allowed distance can decrease even further. The thought of aircraft traveling over 500 miles per hour being so close might seem daunting, but advanced monitoring technologies and strict flight procedures enable these tight separations to be maintained safely. Air traffic controllers also manage the vertical spacing of planes on crossing paths, keeping them 1,000 to 2,000 feet apart. From the window at cruising altitude, the airspace might seem crowded and the proximity of other planes more noticeable than you'd expect. However, this closeness is part of a meticulously planned system. Radar, radio communications, computers, and precise positional reporting all play a role in keeping air traffic orderly and precise. This efficient coordination ensures the limited available airspace is used to its fullest while maintaining the necessary separation between planes. So, the next time you spot another plane from your window, you can feel reassured by the knowledge that the choreography of modern air traffic is designed to keep efficiency high and risks low, thanks to the careful orchestration of flights within the world's skies. Number 15. Aircraft window and seat designs. The design elements of an airplane, such as the shape of its windows and the color of its seats, are far from random. These features are the result of extensive research aimed at enhancing both safety and passenger comfort through carefully considered adaptations. Initially, airplanes had square windows, but these were phased out after investigations into crashes identified structural weaknesses at the corners of the frames. The transition to oval or rounded windows eliminated these stress points, distributing the stress more evenly around the frame, thus adding strength to the cabin structure. Additionally, the curved design contributes to the overall aesthetics of the airplane's interior. When it comes to the choice of seat upholstery, blue has become a popular choice, backed by studies in aviation psychology. Shades of blue, along with green, are found to have a calming effect on passengers, which is particularly beneficial for those who experience anxiety while flying. These colors are not only chosen for their psychological benefits but also for practical reasons. Deeper tones are more effective at concealing signs of dirt and wear, making them a smart choice for maintaining a clean and appealing cabin appearance over time. Number 14. Plug doors. Aircraft doors have a unique design that sets them apart from any door you'll find in a household, specifically tailored to seal the cabin and maintain pressure. This distinct shape isn't just for aesthetics. It's a critical safety feature, especially in aircraft designed to carry more than approximately 200 passengers. Such planes are equipped with what's known as plug doors, a requirement under safety regulations to ensure the well-being of everyone on board. The genius of plug-type doors lies in their use of air pressure differences to secure the cabin. These doors are designed to be slightly larger than the doorway they cover. When closed, the door's extra material expands outward against the door frame, creating an airtight seal that is crucial during flight. As the aircraft ascends and cabin pressure increases, this difference in pressure forces the door more firmly against its frame, enhancing its seal and security. This mechanism relies not just on mechanical latches but also on the physics of air pressure to keep the door in place. Upon landing, when the aircraft's internal pressure is equalized with the external air pressure, the door can be opened easily, demonstrating the effectiveness of the plug door design. This system also incorporates various methods of operation, electrical, mechanical, and manual, ensuring that, even in the event of a component failure, the door's functionality is preserved through built-in redundancies. This thoughtful engineering ensures the safety and security of the aircraft's interior across all phases of flight. Number 13. Oxygen masks. If you've ever been on a plane, you're probably familiar with the safety demonstration that includes those oxygen masks dropping from the ceiling. But have you ever wondered exactly how they work and the amount of oxygen they actually supply? It might surprise you to learn that these masks aren't hooked up to big tanks of oxygen. Instead, they work through a chemical reaction. When you pull down on the mask, sodium chloride and iron powder react together to produce oxygen. This process can keep you breathing for about 10 to 20 minutes. Why such a short time? Well, the idea is that this window of time is just enough for the pilot to bring the plane down below 10,000 feet, where the air is breathable again. Once the plane drops below this altitude, the air pressure inside the cabin increases to a level where you can breathe normally. Above 15,000 feet, the amount of oxygen in the air isn't enough, making these masks crucial for keeping everyone conscious. By quickly descending, the plane reaches an altitude with enough natural oxygen in the air before the mask's supply runs out, giving the pilot ample time to complete a controlled descent to around 8,000 feet. Number 12. Do not pair lists. Spending hours in a cockpit alongside another pilot can sometimes get monotonous, and personality clashes are bound to happen. But what if these disagreements between pilots put passenger safety at risk? Airlines have a strategy to minimize this risk by allowing pilots to indicate colleagues they'd prefer not to fly with, creating what are known as do not pair lists. These lists enable pilots to name other crew members with whom they believe they cannot safely work due to differences in behavior or communication styles. Airlines use this information to avoid scheduling these individuals on the same flight. While this practice isn't widespread, it serves as a preventive measure, allowing pilots to express concerns before any tension escalates to a level that could affect their ability to manage the aircraft and crew resources effectively. Pairing incompatible crew members could result in a distracted or even antagonistic work environment, which is far from ideal in situations where quick, life-or-death decisions are necessary. Removing such interpersonal obstacles ensures that pilots can concentrate entirely on their flying responsibilities. These do not fly listings are kept confidential, and aviation unions strongly support these policies. They underscore the importance of maintaining a distraction-free environment, promoting effective crew resource management, and upholding the aviation industry's commitment to safety above all else. Number 11. Emergency landings. When a pilot announces an emergency landing, it's natural for passengers to immediately fear the worst. However, these situations are often precautionary measures rather than indicators of imminent danger. Understanding the common reasons for such diversions can help alleviate anxiety. Most emergency landings are prompted by passenger health issues that are not directly related to the flight's operation, with the primary concern being quick access to medical facilities. The pilot might request priority landing to address these situations promptly. Other reasons for an emergency landing can include minor technical glitches, the need for emergency refueling, or the necessity to avoid unforeseen adverse weather conditions. It's crucial to note that emergency landings are seldom the result of critical malfunctions or immediate threats to the aircraft's safety. The use of the term emergency signifies a situation that requires swift attention and prioritization upon landing, ensuring that ground resources are on standby to respond effectively. The expertise of the pilots, combined with ongoing advancements in aviation safety, allows for the effective management of most in-air irregularities. Declaring an emergency ensures that necessary preparations are made on the ground to deal with the situation as efficiently as possible. Therefore, if your flight ever has to make an unexpected detour, try not to assume the worst. Statistics indicate that more than 90% of such diversions result in no injuries and only minor delays. This should offer some reassurance that flight crews are well equipped to handle unexpected challenges while airborne. Number 10. Yermi planes. Upon settling into your seat on an airplane, you might feel reassured by the knowledge that airline cleaning crews have disinfected each surface following the previous flight. Yet, studies have shown that despite these efforts, aircraft can harbor surprisingly high levels of bacteria. The challenge in keeping planes free of germs stems from the rapid turnaround times required for commercial flights. This tight schedule often means cleaning teams prioritize removing visible litter over deep sterilization efforts. High-touch areas such as tray tables, armrests, and lavatory surfaces may receive only a cursory wipe-down, if at all, rather than thorough disinfection. The constant flow of passengers contributes to the quick accumulation of germs transferring from hands to surfaces, which are then circulated around the cabin by the air conditioning system. Pathogens, including E. coli and Staphylococcus, have been found on various surfaces within the aircraft, posing health risks. In response to these hygiene challenges, airlines have stepped up their cleaning protocols, but achieving a level of cleanliness comparable to hospital standards between every flight is a daunting task. For your next flight, consider bringing along sanitizing wipes to clean your immediate area. This small step can help protect you from bacteria and allow you to focus on the marvels of aviation technology and the extraordinary feat of safe air travel rather than the microscopic passengers sharing your journey. Number 9. Secret chime codes. On airplanes, a seemingly random series of chimes can often be heard, but rather than arbitrary noises, these sounds are a form of secret communication among the crew. Flight attendants and pilots use an intricate system of audible signals to convey important messages, often without the passenger's awareness. For instance, 3 rapid chimes played through the intercom might indicate an emergency that requires the attention of all available crew members. This system allows for swift mobilization of help without causing unnecessary alarm among the passengers. A single chime is typically used to signal a routine event, such as a passenger pressing the call button, which alerts a crew member to assist. There are also specific chimes for various operational needs, such as requesting the start of meal service, signaling the cabin's readiness for takeoff, or coordinating other essential tasks. While the exact meaning of these chimes can vary from one airline to another, they all serve as a crucial, unobtrusive backdrop to the complex choreography of in-flight operations, ensuring everything runs smoothly and efficiently. Number 8. Hidden bedrooms. Ever curious about how flight attendants manage to keep their energy up and stay alert during those marathon flights that last over 12 hours? The secret might be closer than you think, hidden right above your head in many large aircraft. These planes are equipped with hidden sleeping quarters for the crew, aptly named crew rest compartments. Tucked away behind unassuming doors and often located upstairs from the main cabin, these compact sleep areas provide a private retreat for pilots and cabin crew to take turns resting. Equipped with bunk beds and other essential amenities, these spaces ensure that a fresh, well-rested team is always on hand to maintain the highest levels of safety and service during ultra-long-haul flights. Take the Airbus A380, for instance. Its upper deck is equipped to accommodate up to 13 rest station pods, complete with bathrooms and a lounge area, offering crew members a much-needed break during their shifts. These sleeping chambers usually feature either dual beds or a single bunk, with aviation regulations specifying the required amount of rest facilities. By cleverly alternating sleep schedules using these compartments, onboard crew can stave off fatigue and jet lag, ensuring they remain alert and perform optimally despite crossing multiple time zones. While passengers might be oblivious to their existence, these compact hideaways above are crucial for the seamless operation of exceptionally long flights. Number 7. Tiny holes. Have you ever looked out of an airplane window and spotted a tiny hole in the glass? This feature is found on all aircraft windows and plays a critical role in regulating pressure. This pinhole, far from being a flaw, is a deliberately included design element known as a breather hole. As an airplane ascends, the air pressure outside decreases while it remains higher inside the cabin, putting stress on the window panes. The breather hole's job is to gradually balance the pressure between the layers of double-pane glass, preventing them from fogging up due to condensation. This controlled leak also helps manage the pressure within the cabin during takeoff and landing, aiding in the prevention of uncomfortable ear popping. It achieves this by maintaining the pressure on the middle glass pane at a comfortable level, ensuring it remains firmly against the innermost pane to keep the cabin secure. So, the next time you gaze through an airplane window, remember that the tiny hole you see is a meticulously engineered feature designed to handle pressure differences that could otherwise lead to serious problems. It's just one of the many clever design elements in aviation that keep you safe, countering the natural forces that challenge the mechanics of flight. Number 6. Window shades. The request from flight attendants to lift your window shade during takeoff or landing is more than a mere formality. It's a key safety measure. This protocol isn't about offering passengers a view. It's fundamentally designed to ensure quick external assessment by the crew and emergency teams in critical situations. When window shades are up, identifying external dangers such as fires, smoke, or runway obstructions becomes possible from the aircraft's interior. Furthermore, open shades play a crucial role in facilitating an efficient evacuation. They help passengers' eyes adjust to the natural light outside, a vital factor when exiting a dim cabin into potentially bright or different lighting conditions. This quick adjustment to outdoor light is essential as it preserves visibility and orientation, speeding up evacuation processes. Open window shades also enhance the visibility for rescue teams looking into the aircraft, aiding in rapid assessment and assistance. They enable flight attendants to visually coordinate with ground staff, signaling about any external hazards, aiding injured passengers, and streamlining the evacuation process. Although keeping the shades open might interrupt your rest or preference for a darker cabin, it significantly contributes to the plane's safety readiness. The Federal Aviation Administration in the United States insists on this practice during taxi, takeoff, and landing to enhance safety protocols. By following the crew's guidance to keep the window shades up during these phases, passengers play an essential role in ensuring a safer flight experience for everyone on board. Now it's time for today's subscriber pick. Vietjet Air, a private Vietnamese airline established in 2007, quickly stood out in the aviation industry with its unorthodox marketing strategy, famously dubbed the Bikini Airline. This approach included hosting in-flight beauty pageants where models donned bikinis and paraded down the aisles, and using advertisements that featured provocatively dressed women in highly sexualized poses. These titillating tactics undoubtedly generated a buzz and attracted attention to the brand, but they also sparked public backlash and criticism. Many saw this marketing approach as exploiting female sexuality for commercial gain, raising questions about the ethical implications of such gendered marketing strategies. The debate over Vietjet Air's approach brings to the forefront the broader conversation about the balance between creative branding and social responsibility. While some may argue that the airline's strategy was a clever move to stand out in a highly competitive market, others contend that it crosses ethical boundaries by objectifying women to attract business. This raises important questions about where the line should be drawn in marketing practices and the impact of such strategies on societal perceptions of gender and professionalism in the corporate world. Number 5. Fuel dumping. As an airplane ascends to cruising altitude, you might spot a trail streaming from behind its wings. While it might look like cloud vapors, it's actually aviation fuel being intentionally released. Though this creates a visually striking effect, the practice of fuel dumping is surrounded by debate. It's a safety measure reserved for emergency situations, such as when a plane needs to make an unexpected return to the airport shortly after takeoff and is too heavy to land safely. To reduce to a safe landing weight and prevent potential accidents, aircraft can jettison several tons of excess fuel in a matter of minutes. Special valves on the wings facilitate this, allowing fuel to be expelled at a rate of thousands of pounds per minute. Once released, the fuel vaporizes due to atmospheric conditions, forming the cloud-like effect seen from the ground. This vapor doesn't accumulate below but instead disperses and evaporates at various altitudes. Although regulations mandate that fuel dumping occur at high altitudes to minimize environmental impact, concerns have been raised by environmental groups. The fuel contains compounds that eventually return to Earth either as particulates or by being absorbed into water cycles. Industry statistics indicate that approximately 1.2 million pounds of fuel are dumped worldwide each year. Pilots resort to this measure only as a last resort, considering the high cost of aviation fuel and the potential environmental implications. Despite its infrequency, fuel dumping highlights the aviation industry's commitment to prioritizing passenger safety above all, even when faced with difficult decisions. Number 4. Big lie. When you're on a flight and come across a lavatory door that's marked as occupied, there's an understanding of privacy that needs to be respected. However, the crew is equipped with an emergency method for unlocking the door from the outside, should the need arise. This mechanism is usually concealed behind the lavatory sign, where an external latch can be accessed to unlock the door. It's a precaution meant for use in critical situations, such as if a passenger inside becomes unresponsive to knocking. A discreet design allows flight attendants to slide back the hidden knob and unlock the door quietly and efficiently, enabling them to provide medical assistance quickly if necessary, where every minute can be crucial. Despite the existence of this mechanism, the protocol emphasizes etiquette and the importance of privacy. The use of this emergency unlock is considered a last resort. Cabin crew are required to loudly announce their intention before making entry to maintain decency and prevent any misunderstanding. Only senior staff have the authorization to decide on the use of this emergency procedure, ensuring it's handled with the utmost care and discretion. Number 3. Flying with the dead. In the midst of the thrill of flying high above the earth, there lies a somber truth. Occasionally, passengers pass away during flights. While this is a tragic event, airlines have thorough plans in place for handling such situations until the plane can land. On ultra-long-haul flights, some carriers, like Singapore Airlines, have gone a step further by integrating specially designed storage areas for deceased passengers. These areas, respectfully termed corpse cupboards, allow crew members to discreetly and respectfully store the body, secured with seatbelts, away from the eyes of other passengers until the plane reaches its destination. These compartments are fully enclosed and situated separately from the cabin area. The aim is not just to hide the deceased, but to manage the situation with dignity, showing respect for both the departed and the living passengers who might be distressed by the presence of a deceased individual for the duration of the flight. Airlines like Singapore Airlines address these challenging situations with sensitivity and respect. Aviation regulators have mandated standardized procedures for air crews to follow in these instances, which include relocating the body, informing the relevant authorities, and completing the necessary documentation. Given the extensive global routes that flights cover today, airlines must be prepared for this sensitive issue. The inclusion of corpse cupboards is a testament to their commitment to foreseeing and compassionately managing every possible eventuality, even in the face of tragedy. Number 2. Separate meals. Airline food often receives criticism, particularly when it comes to economy class offerings. However, airlines actually take significant measures to ensure both the quality and safety of the food they serve. One less widely known safety measure is the practice of separating the meals of the pilot and the co-pilot. This rule is in place to prevent both from possibly suffering food poisoning or an allergic reaction at the same time. Should one pilot's meal be contaminated, the other would ideally remain unaffected and fully capable of piloting the aircraft. Typically, the pilot is given a meal from the business or first-class menu, while the co-pilot's meal comes from economy-class options. Moreover, pilots are encouraged to eat at different times, adding an extra layer of precaution in case of adverse reactions to the food. This practice is a global standard enforced by airlines to reduce the risk of both pilots becoming incapacitated due to food-related issues. It may seem like an overly cautious approach, but considering that most flights are managed by just 2 pilots, minimizing the risk of contamination is crucial. Through measures like these, including staggered meal times, airlines demonstrate their commitment to maintaining the highest safety standards. So, as you wait for your meal in the economy section, know that even greater attention is paid to what's served in the cockpit. Number 1. Vacuum toilets. During your next journey in the skies, take a moment to marvel at the remarkable engineering behind the airplane lavatories operating at 35,000 feet. Unlike household toilets that rely on gravity to dispose of waste, aircraft lavatories utilize an ingenious vacuum system. Activating the flush lever opens a valve, creating a pressure differential that powerfully sucks the waste into a sealed holding tank, eliminating the need for traditional plumbing. This vacuum flush system is incredibly efficient, requiring merely a teaspoon of fluid to transport waste through the plane's slim tubing. Upon landing, specialized pump trucks are responsible for emptying the holding tank's contents, ensuring safe and proper waste disposal. To maintain a clean and odor-free environment throughout the flight, disinfectant sprays are used to suppress bacteria and unpleasant smells. While it might appear ordinary at first glance, the technology behind this vacuum system far surpasses the functionality of residential toilets, providing effective sanitation and a lightweight solution essential for air travel. Thus, even at high altitudes where a gravity-based flush is impractical, passengers are afforded the convenience of using the restroom as comfortably as they would on the ground. This is all thanks to sophisticated engineering that ensures the lavatory system operates smoothly, no matter the altitude of the flight.